Please add this to our sales training in Notion. So the goal is to get motivations from our sellers. And the way we get motivation, and this is higher level sales, so I appreciate the team taking time to learn this. Just asking someone the question you want to know will have a low conversion rate. So if we just say, hey, like, why are you thinking of selling the property? What's your motivation? Some people are going to answer that question. The majority of people hear that and they know it sets off red flags in their head. They say, I'm not telling this salesperson my motivations. And then they push back. The sale closes. And so it actually asking a question in sales a lot of the times can hurt more than it helps, because when they shut you down, the conversation's over. What we want to do, we want to get that question answered, but conversationally, as if you were talking to the friend. And the way we do that is with the Chris Voss questioning, where you're actively listening and you're repeating the last 3 words of what they said. This is very key. Repeating the last 3 words of their last sentence with a questioning tone. If you can do that, it will make you probably 5 times as good at sales. If you can do that in the areas you want to know more information. That's all we have to do, is figure out how to do that. Here's what that looks like in practice. Our current script is set up to do that well. You get the intro. Okay, just to start, when was the last time, confirm you bought this property in 1980? And they say, yeah, that's when we bought it. Okay, yeah, curious what was going on in 1980. This is a motivation question. You're not asking, why are you motivated to sell? You're asking that 2 questions down the road. Hey, what was going on in 1980 when you bought it? Just curious. Oh, my son was young and he used to ride dirt bikes on that property all the time. He used to ride dirt bikes on the property. Yeah, he rode all there growing up. He'd ride dirt bikes all over the place, and then he went to high school, and then he went away to college. Oh, he went away to college. Yeah, he left, and so now he doesn't. We don't have a need for the property anymore because he does. He's not riding dirt bikes. He's not at it. He lives in a different state. Bang. That's motivation. That's how you ask a motivation question. This is a motivation question. All of these are motivation questions, but we can't just ask directly, hey, why are you motivated to sell? They're going to be like, hey, stop it, salesperson. Stop talking to me. I hate you. I don't want to sell my property to you. We have to give them the end around and actually care about them and ask them questions and hear what they're saying. Same thing. Tell me a little bit more about the property. Oh, there's going to be an opportunity there. That could be a motivation question. Have you spent much time on the property recently, or is it kind of out of sight, out of mind? Haven't spent much time there recently. Haven't spent much time there? Yeah, only go out there like every year or so to look at it. Just to look at it? Yeah, I don't do anything at the property anymore. We used to hunt on it, but now I just check on it and make sure the trees aren't down or something. Okay, now we know they used to hunt on the property. They don't hunt on it anymore. That one you could ask, used to hunt on the property. Yeah, like in the 80s we hunted on it. We haven't hunted in 10 years. The deer left, and now we don't have a reason for it. Bang. That's how you get a motivation question. Like that, I should start ringing the gong. Bang. Hey, just curious, what was your original plan for the property? Oh, me and my husband bought it. We were going to build a tiny house out there, a cabin in the woods. A cabin in the woods? Yeah, like not hunting cabin, but just one that was out in nature so that I could write. Oh, so you could write? Yeah, I was a writer, but now I'm doing this other job and I work full time. We haven't been to the cabin in, 15 years, and it just sits out there. Bang, motivation. That's what we're looking for. Oh, here's another motivation. Hey, just curious, if you had a little bit of extra money, what might you do to the property? Or if you were us, what might you do to the property? I'm going to change that question. About that question. Hey, just curious, if you had a little bit of money, and say you were me, how might you upgrade the property? Okay, cool. That's maybe not a great motivation there. That you can find motivation in anyone, but maybe not a crazy one there. And so this is just in the lead up. Now we're actually now we're going for it and trying to find their motivation. Hey, just curious, if you ended up selling land, you planning to move or something? one of these needs to be asked. Hey, you know, you've held the land for 15 years already. Just curious, what makes you open to selling now? Hey, I'm curious, after owning land since this time, what makes you end up selling at this point? What was your original plan? Sounds like that changed. I don't like these two because they are a little bit, I'm going to take them out. They're a little bit too direct, and that's cheating. We need to get good enough where we're not cheating to get these, because when we cheat, people smell it and we sound like a used car salesman. So I'm going to say only in an emergency. If we're asking these questions, it's an emergency. So we got this labeled now. So getting their core motivation, if we haven't found it yet, you know, what do you plan to do? Move or something? However you want to ask this. If you have it in you and you are a little bit humorous, you say, hey, what are you going to do? Buy a fancy car or something? You're going to go on vacation. What's the plan if you sell? Or if that one doesn't land for you, you know, you planning to move or something, or, you know, what was your original plan with the land? And sounds like your plan changed, that type of thing. Those will hopefully help you dig up the motivation. If we get all the way here and we haven't found the motivation yet, then we have bailout questions. These are only an emergency. If we need to ask these directly, it means that we failed to find their motivation, like a salesperson previously in the conversation. And so we're just going to ask directly. And so we'll ask them, why are you open to selling land at this point? With a little bit, it's a little bit more of a clever ask, but this basically, if we're using these, that would be mean that we didn't properly find motivation and we just had to panic basically and ask them directly. Okay, wonderful. Sales is a constantly evolving process and we're doing really well. So this is just the next little thing to keep working on. Nice work, everyone. And we will continue to make this script better and better. Thank you for the feedback along the way. Let's do it. Good stuff.
Before this video ends, I need to share something that's going to help you crush it. So I've made over 5 million cold calls and worked with dozens of land teams over the last year. And I cracked the code on how to hire a cold caller that'll get you 5 qualified leads a day, close $15,000 to $100,000 every single month. And I put together a complete cold caller hiring blueprint that I can show you exactly my interview questions that I use so that I can spot savages on the phone, people who actually show up and crush it. I've hired over 100 cold callers now. I know exactly what to look for. I'll also show you my quick 3-step filtering system that saved me thousands of dollars with bad hires, and all the steps from job posting through final interviews, how to pick a good talent, and then the exact pay structure and the onboarding that keeps my top performers from jumping ship. And a little hint is it's not obvious and it's not what most land investors do. I've had clients who've paid over $2,500 for this info. Right now, I'm giving away completely free. I basically know that once you see how we operate, how effective we are with cold calling, all our processes, it's likely that you'll want to partner with us and scale your land team. So click below, get instant access to my complete cold caller hiring system. And don't wait, because it's likely I won't keep this free forever. One more thing is that inside you'll also get access to my private school community where I share my entire cold calling system. I'm talking battle tested scripts that we've done millions of cold calls with, my follow-up process that we use to qualify leads, how I manage the cold callers so they perform, and everything that's working right now in today's land investing market. So click below, get the free guide, and then let's start scaling your land business together.